Welcome to the new episode of Money Works For Me podcast. We are recording this session on 1st of October 2021. On our podcast today, we are going to discuss about a company with great financials, a ROCE greater than 25%, 5-year free cash flow CAGR at 45%, zero debt, and extremely high and consistent profit margins. Yes, we are talking about Indian Energy Exchange Limited, an almost near monopoly business and a platform business at that. To discuss our view, I have our equity analyst Alia with me. Welcome, Alia.
Thank you, Aditya.
So before we talk about IEX, Alia, why don't you tell us something about platform business and what's the hype around them?
You're right, Aditya. So in markets today, the words platform business seem to have garnered an almost magical aura around it. So what are these platform businesses? They're nothing but business models that connect multiple sets of users without owning any assets themselves. So think of Ola and Uber, or think of Oyo, Airbnb. They do not own a single car or a hotel, but they simply connect the buyer and seller of the service, and they charge a commission in between. As they grow bigger, network effects will come into play, and only those companies that have reached larger number of users will attract more users. So if Ola did not have many drivers on its app, people would switch to Uber permanently. Basically, more people in the system attract more people. This behavior is called as network effect, and this is what leads to the growth in platform business. What investors need to remember is that not all platform businesses have performed well, and the mere existence of a platform does not guarantee high returns. A platform needs two critical things to be successful. One is the ability to make attractive acquisitions at low cost so that they can build their networks at a fast pace. And second is access to relatively low cost capital for a longer duration. Now, it's not easy for businesses to have this going for them for decades together. Of course, it gets a lot easier once the initial network is built up. But even then, somebody with deeper pockets can come and disrupt the business. So to give you an example, do you use WhatsApp?
Yes.
Why not WeChat? Because your friends and family are not on WeChat, right?
Yes.
So WeChat is also a platform business which is very successful in China, but it didn't see any traction in other markets. So platform is a winner takes all type of a model. You can see similar things happening in many fields like stock exchanges, NSE versus BSE, where NSE has a major share in the cash segment and the derivatives segment, where BSE is still trying to improve its business. Then similarly in e-commerce, Amazon and Flipkart turned winners, and others were shut down or they were acquired by these two big companies. Then there is food delivery, where Zomato and Swiggy are winners, while Uber Eats and Food Panda are out.
Yes, that's true. In fact, we don't need to look far for examples of failure. India's streaming business comes to mind immediately. Many have already been shut down, bought over, and the remaining ones are still struggling to become profitable. So moving on, let's dive into IEX. What does IEX do exactly?
So IEX is basically an energy exchange. It facilitates trading of electricity on its platform, just as NSE or BSE facilitate trading in stock. To understand the dynamics of the business, let's talk about how the electricity trade cycle works. So at the start of the value chain, there are electricity generators, companies like NTPC, Tata Power, Adani Power. They sell this electricity to distribution companies, or what we call the DISCOMs, or state electricity boards. Now, connecting these two players is the transmission company in between that helps transmit this power from the GENCO to the DISCOM. Now, the energy market is divided into two markets. One is the long-term market and the other is short-term market. So currently, almost 90% of the power produced in India is sold through the long-term power purchase agreements, which last for 25 years. And the remaining 10-11% is through short-term agreements. This short-term market is where power exchanges like IEX and Power Exchange of India come into play. Almost 6% of India's electricity is traded on these exchanges. The rest is over-the-counter transactions between two DISCOMs.
So why there is a need for short-term power markets?
Okay, so consider states such as Himachal Pradesh or Uttarakhand that have access to hydroelectric power, and therefore they run power surplus during summer. Now they can sell this surplus power to states such as Punjab and Haryana, which normally run power deficit in summer. So the conventional fixed rate long-term power purchase agreements in these cases becomes expensive for DISCOMs, as they have to pay fixed rates to GENCOs even though the demand for electricity during a particular season may be low. So IEX will basically help plug this variation in power requirements through trading on their platform.
Okay. So you all gave a buy call on IEX at 190 rupees per share back in September 2020. What made you all take that decision?
So what caught our eye initially was the astonishing financials, as you have said in the beginning of the podcast. So IEX had an ROCE of greater than 40%, meaning it doesn't require large investments in assets to grow its business. And it enjoyed consistently strong profit margins. And though sales growth wasn't very high, profits were going at a faster pace due to rising volumes, increasing trading volumes on the exchange, a phenomenon that we expect to continue well into the future. So we decided to dig in, and we found there were many factors working in favor of IEX. The first was the huge potential market and the virtual monopoly that IEX enjoys here. So, as I said, only 6% of India's electricity consumption is traded on exchanges. Now, compare this to developed countries where about 20 to 30% of electricity is traded on exchanges. This provides a massive potential for India's power exchanges in future as the per capita demand for electricity grows with the broader economic growth. So we are expecting India's per capita demand to go up by almost 30 to 40% by 2025. So you get the idea how huge the potential market is. The second is that IEX controls a giant share of the power exchange market, almost 92% of market share. And PXIL, or Power Exchange of India, has the remaining 8%. And we could see this continuing in the future for two reasons. Competition in this space would be limited as companies require exchange license to operate into the business, and obtaining new licenses is difficult. Plus, IEX has already built up a large network effect. It has all the power generators, industries, discoms as its trading members. And like we discussed in the beginning, platform business, the success depends on the network. The first move advantage is a huge advantage in this business. And IEX also has other prominent industries like textiles and metals on its platform. So this becomes a chicken and egg situation. Liquidity attracts more members, and more the members trade, the liquidity increases. Also, IEX charges fixed charges for power trading, irrespective of the changes in realization of power units. So it was protected in that sense. Then there was increasing government push on improving efficiency in the power sector and providing 24/7 electricity for discoms. Plus, IEX was launching new products like real-time market and new category like real gas exchange, which recently we have seen has garnered a lot of interest, which would further boost growth for the company. And the last important check before we decided to buy was the valuation. IEX was trading at 29 times 1 year forward PE ratio with a cash per share of approximately, I think, 50 rupees per share. And we believed IEX deserves to trade at a premium valuation due to the earning stability that it provided and the high ROE from the asset light and high operating leverage business it has. Even if the company continued to trade at 29 times forward PE ratio, the growth in the company would help us achieve 15% CAGR over the next 3 years, including a dividend yield of 1 to 2%.
Okay, this is interesting. You have recently also given a sell call on IEX. Do you think the factors you just mentioned are not working for IEX anymore?
So we have not sold our entire position. We recommended a partial sell on IEX at approximately 588 rupees per share. So the reason is that the stock has run up too much, much ahead of its earnings growth. Of course, earnings growth have also been stellar due to the increasing demand for power and the gap between the surplus and deficit in power between states. Plus, IEX has a lot of things going for it. The company launched the real-time market that we discussed, and it has shaped up well. And currently, it is accounting for 17.5% of the total electricity volumes. Then it has also entered into a licensing agreement with MCX to launch electricity derivatives. Cross-border electricity trading has started with Nepal being the first country to participate, and there are efforts that are being made to bring Bhutan and Bangladesh also on board. But this last leg of this rally in IEX came on the back of IEX inclusion in FNO. It was almost as huge as 30, I think approximately 35% in a week. So even if we assume a blue sky scenario on current data, we expect moderate upside on fundamental base. Of course, we will continue to hold the lower allocation for positive surprises, if any.
Thank you, Alia, for joining us and enlightening our viewers with your thoughts on IEX today. To all our listeners, follow us on Google, YouTube, and Spotify for more updates like this. Till then, happy investing.